Greetings ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bucket List Reviews. My name is Gibran and today I'm going to be introducing a new segment to this channel, My Bucket List Picks. These films are the films that I feel that you have to watch before you die, or you can also say before you kick the bucket. So as some of you might know, I adore dark comedies. I really love the fact that when you don't know whether you should laugh at a certain scene or take it seriously. And I feel that dark comedies can really change your perception about how a film can be structured. And if done right, they can actually avoid predictability in mainstream films. So with that being said, I would like to introduce you to one of my favorite films of all time, Sullivan's Travels. Now, not only I feel this film is one of the greatest films that came out of the golden age of Hollywood, but I also feel that this is one of the greatest dark comedies ever made. So this film was directed by Preston Sturges. He only directed 12 films in his lifetime. He started off actually as a screenwriter, but then slowly transitioned into directing and writing his films. Most of his films actually focuses on the battle of sexes and on-screen banter between the two main protagonists. I think that's the charm of his films. So one of the many talents that Preston Sturges had, that he took the genre of screwball comedy and he turned it into a dark comedic portrayal of Hollywood and the American society. And I feel Sullivan Travels is actually the pinnacle of his achievement. The film stars Joel McCrea as a famous Hollywood director, Sullivan, who feels like he hasn't created anything of value for the common masses. The only film that he's ever made has been comedies, and this time he vows to the studio execs that he's going to make a film about a real-life misery, Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Unfortunately, his idea gets shot down by the studio execs, who believe that since he has always been brought up in wealth, there's no way he can ever recreate that experience of what it's like to come from penniless background. And this is where Sullivan has the idea to spend a few months living the life as a hobo. Along the way, Sullivan meets a down-on-her-luck actress who tags along his journey of self-discovery and ultimately moral salvation. What makes this film so unique for me is that how audacious this film was for its time. It not only poked fun at Hollywood and how stupefyingly they treat their audiences, but also the fact that how the Great Depression actually affected the masses at the time. So Sturges had the gall to recreate American lifestyle and create a satirical piece out of it. Actually, some even might say that this film was a reaction to Frank Capra's happy-go-lucky films, where everything just went fine and dandy. He actually created like a lot of dark elements and made some comedic set pieces out of it. There's some really funny banter actually between the studio executives and Joel McCrea's character. Joel McCrea I actually feel is the perfect casting for this role. He's a good-hearted person but also comes from a very privileged background, and I feel Joel McCrea just magnificently pulled it off. This was actually the first film that McCrea and Sturges did together, and after that they also did a Palm Beach Story, which is also a fantastic dark comedy. So it's actually the banter of the dialogue that really sells this film. There's some really dark satirical moments that you wonder like, how the hell the Sturges came up with this? And I feel it really what sells this film. Each of the characters are so well fleshed out that you don't need senseless exposition actually. This film works on a lot of direct, sharp humor. And of course, there's the with a little sex set piece. This set piece is alone amazing. I think that really creates a perfect atmosphere for this film.
I want this picture to be a commentary on modern conditions, stark realism, the problems that confront the average man.
But with a little sex.
A little, but I don't want to stress it. I want this picture to be a document. I want to hold a mirror up to life. I want this to be a picture of dignity, a true canvas of the suffering of humanity.
But with a little sex.
With a little sex in it.
MPAA at the time actually had no idea what to do with this film. They couldn't ban the film because it didn't break any of the rules of their censorship. But at the same time, the audience members actually got the idea that you need sex in Hollywood to sell the film to the masses. And I feel a lot of credit goes to Sturges' impeccable writing.
You been in Hollywood long?
Long enough.
Trying to crash the movies or something?
Something like that.
I guess that's pretty hard to do, huh?
I guess so. I never got close enough to find out.
Oh, sorry.
Say, who's being sorry for who? Am I buying you the eggs or are you buying me the eggs?
Veronica Lake, I feel, might not be the perfect actress at the time because there were a lot of amazing golden age Hollywood actresses, but I think her impeccable timing, and she knew what Sturges wanted from her. A lot of this film works with them being together in the same scene. They have a lot of brilliant banter going on with one another where they're kind of like topping their insult with one another, and it's so good, it's so well written. And it's really hard to believe that Lake was actually 6 months pregnant at the time, and she didn't even tell Sturges till the film started filming. And Sturges became so angry that it's been reported that he almost almost wanted to hit her. True story actually. When I first started watching this film, I had no idea what to make of it. There were some comedic elements, but also they were making fun of a lot of dark elements of life. And I kept asking myself, should I laugh at this scene or should I be concerned about it? And for me, this is the best kind of dark comedy. This film is actually precursor to Coen Brothers, Joe Dante, and it actually brought dark comedies to the mainstream Hollywood. So as you might expect, this film did not do well with the box office in the beginning. The general audience moviegoers had no idea what to make of this film because Sullivan's Travels doesn't fall into a certain genre. Yes, it's a dark comedy, but also at the same time it's a screwball comedy, and yes, it's also Battle of the Sexes, and it kind of very seamlessly integrates all this together and creates a very different kind of film that I can imagine a lot of moviegoers at the time had no idea what to make of it. But this film has really stood the test of time and it's becoming more and more relevant each year. It focuses on human misery but takes a very comedic approach to it.
What are you looking at me that way for?
Hey, you big fathead.
What's the big idea?
That's for your swimming pools and your tennis courts and your limousines and your barbecues. That's for making fun of a poor girl who only tried to help you, you big faker.
Now there seems to be a rumor that when AFI released the top 100 films of all time in 1998, they added 5 Spielberg films and none were from Preston Sturges in the list. And Spielberg actually got very angry about it. He actually went to the AFI and I said that take one of my films away and put Sullivan's Travels into the list. And once you know it, it actually worked. In 2007 when they revisited, AFI put Sullivan's Travels in the 61st position. So this film was actually recently released on DVD by the Criterion Collection, and I highly recommend you to go buy this DVD because this film is easily in top 25 films of mine of all time. Yeah, so that was my first film in my list of my bucket list picks, and I'm actually going to do a lot more of it in the few coming months, so stay tuned over that. And if you like this review, please click on the subscribe button, and yeah, we'll see each other next time. So